Hey everyone, it's Zach Wright with iMEO Company coming back to you with an episode explaining what we actually do here at iMEO Company. So, in the most simplistic form, we help make OKRs easy. And so, the way that I wanted to structure this video is to go through a little bit of a high level reason why we started iMEO and then also what that breakdown looks like. So, if we go here, who are we? Our main purpose is to serve as your guide to creating a 360-degree view into your organization. And we do this by helping growing companies educate, enable, and embed OKRs into their organization to produce a structured way to execute its strategy. And the reason why this is so important is because most of our customers, if not all, experience the things that we're looking at here on the screen. They fail strategy due to poor execution. In fact, according to the Harvard Business Review, 67% of well-formulated strategies fail due to poor execution. So there's clearly a gap from planning or strategic planning, which is very popular, to actually turning that strategy into something that can be executed upon. That's where OKRs come into play. Now, the other thing is lack of transparency among departments. And what often happens is companies don't think about being aligned until it's too late. And then it's a huge task. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of money because you're involving some of the highest paid people in the organization, but also that time to conduct change management is just overwhelming in some cases. And that often doesn't help with retention. It increases attrition of your employees. And then it also creates a lack of morale from not knowing what's going on. So misalignment in organizations causes confusion and frustration for employees, lack of employee engagement and meaningfulness, and it also slows down progress. Now, the other part is lack of focus, right? That is a huge thing, especially for growing companies, startups who are trying to tackle so many things. If they're not able to clearly identify what their specific priorities are for the next 365 days, and then more specifically with OKRs in a 90-day period, because it's quarter by quarter, then there's going to be a lot of distractions. That's what we call the shiny object syndrome, where something will come in from a CEO or your manager or a high-level director, and they're going to steer you in a different direction, which might take you away from actually executing on the mission and the vision and the strategy of the company. So key goals are not made aware, and people end up doing their own thing, in some cases causing redundancy or moving in the wrong direction altogether. I give an example where if I'm conducting a workshop and I say point to the northwest, everybody in the room do it at the same time on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. And what you'll see is people are pointing in all different directions. And what happened was that before I asked that question, the North Star was never clearly defined. Right? So once you identify what it is that you're trying to accomplish as a company, then everybody can start to create their goals and move in the right direction. Now, we've created an OKR program package that I'm also going to walk you through at high level in this video. But this is how we solve the problems of poor execution, poor transparency, poor alignment, and poor focus. We do it with our OKR program package, and it helps them understand their strategic priorities and how to execute goals through a measurable and outcome-based approach. So step one is we're giving access to the entire company to our OKR Online Course. It's a 4-week course, really heavy in week 2 and week 3. But if your entire company is speaking the same language before trying to create and implement the OKR program, then that's where you're going to see success. Because explaining what OKRs are, walking them through the process, the framework, the key elements of an OKR program, and then identifying key roles and responsibilities that will really make the OKR program embed into your culture, then you're moving in the right direction. OKR Consulting, Workbook, and Playbook. So OKR program onboarding and workshop to kick off the journey. So that makes sure that we as a leadership team have everything aligned and we're ready to target the market, which is the employees, in our change management approach in introducing and implementing the OKR's first cycle. That's a quarter, that's 90 days. Then we have our OKR coaching and playbook. So the OKR coaching playbook and sessions to keep OKRs top of mind. We have one-on-ones, group coaching, workshops, and enablement sessions. Our goal is to be the person that you rely on to help implement OKRs and for them to be successful. But not only that, to be able to have you have a handoff where you start to take over the OKR program and we slowly fade away in the background. So how does it work? Right here, it starts, as I mentioned, with the OKR education. Everybody gets access to the online course. Then we do a strategic alignment and OKR workshop. We start to work on the enablement and implementation. And then we provide OKR coaching for as long as the company wants us to be there to make sure that the OKR program is a staple in your culture, which should be a culture of execution after we finalize what we do. And some of the things that our customers experience is they go from goal setting, which is the planning part, that's the easy part, to goal achieving, which is the execution part. So our customers start in silos, they're misaligned, they're distracted and less productive and or engaged in what they're doing. Then they turn into a company that is focused and aligned, moving in the same direction to achieve goals faster. So why is all of this important to us? It's because we at iMEO, Improving Management, Employees, and Organizations, want to build a world where organizations operate effectively and treat others appropriately. That's our main goal. And if we break it down, one of the ways that we can help OKRs operate effectively is through objectives and key results. And to treat others appropriately due to the outcomes of what happens when you implement OKRs, you're able to have better alignment from an employee and management standpoint. You're better to have your employees understand why they come to work, which increases their psychological well-being, their satisfaction, and their meaningfulness of what they do each day, which will result in higher productivity, higher retention rates for your employees, and better outcomes for the entire company. So that was just a quick high level of what we do, how we do it, and why we do it. But now I want to take a deep breath and walk you into what this actually looks like with our own materials. Okay, so for us to really streamline an approach and to quickly implement OKRs or teach OKRs to the entire company, we've created an online course. It's a 4-week online course. As I mentioned, the first week is a little light. The second week and the third week is heavier. And then the fourth week is really bringing it all together. And on the back end, while we're doing this, we're also working with the leadership team, building out the implementation plan of OKRs, which I'll show you after I run through this OKR online course high-level view. So what we have in each course or each week of the course is we have the reading materials where you'll learn all the things that you need to about OKRs, but also we provide videos. So our customers can have various ways of going through the course and seeing and learning in several different ways. In addition to the introduction videos, we also have recorded slides where everyone can go through this, understand the structure, the how, the why, all the things needed into implementing your OKR course or OKR program. Then we have the lectures, quizzes. So we're really making sure that everyone is retaining and learning what we're teaching in our course. And then lastly, you can download your OKR materials, OKR lecture slides. So if we go back here, you can see that you're able to download these and take them away. And then there's also PowerPoints as well. So you'll have the video of the PowerPoint, you'll have the PowerPoint download here. And then also, if there are any questions as you're going through this, you can type this in here and it will go directly to my email address and I'll be able to respond as quickly as possible. In addition to our OKR online course, we're also providing 2 live sessions for strictly Q&A. So as they go through the online course, their ability to ask questions live with somebody who is able to respond live is there as well in our 2 live sessions. And the goal here with the OKR online course is to simply have everybody speak the same language, understand the OKR framework, process, and elements of the program, to then begin to ask the right questions rather than just what is an OKR and why are we implementing this. So that's the online course portion. Let's move to the program implementation plan. So what we're looking at here is just a simple Excel sheet, but what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working with the leadership team to go through all of these key elements. We have the categories laid out, the subcategories, the action, and then the people, process, and tools. And then we also go through what date we want this executed by. We'll keep you updated through a project management style approach where we can go through progressing, on track, off track. If we need to change which team member or if this is iMEO company, we can go through that as well. We have our role determination here where we'll go through and do the clear action steps that's needed for this to be successful to match our target timeline. Now, these aren't set in stone. It depends on the company's need and their critical event. So if they are trying to implement OKRs in a 60-day time frame, then we'll try our best to get all of this implemented in 60 days. In addition to that, we have a simple roadmap here where we can see the different categories that we have. So education, enablement, consulting, coaching, communication, strategy. We see when those things are going to be implemented and by when. These can be changed depending, again, on the needs of the customer. And then we'll go through and we'll clearly identify what the metrics are to make sure that each step of the implementation is considered a success by the people that we're working with. So this is much of a project management tool to ensure that we are staying on track. From your perspective, we'll hold you accountable and you'll also hold us accountable. Now, moving on to some of the details of what's going to be happening in this implementation plan. So as part of our implementation plan, we walk you through the OKR Consulting Playbook. Now, we give a playbook overview. We go through the expectations of the implementation plan. We call out why these are important for adopting OKRs. And then we go through a clear customer onboarding and solution overview. Now, in each one of these steps, we have actions needed, we have the details, and then we have the goals and next steps. These are clearly identified in our implementation plan as well, but we make sure that we call out where we are, what we need to do next to ensure that everybody is on board and in alignment. Then, after we do the implementation playbook, or as we're doing the implementation playbook, we'll get to a certain point where we're executing and doing the enablement portion, which is where we'll go to our quarterly OKR workshop. This is where we start the first cycle. Similar layout, but we're identifying the top objectives with the leadership team. We're organizing those into themes, and then we're labeling them into groups to identify the company's top objectives. And then underneath the objectives, we'll clearly identify how we will achieve the objective or the what we're trying to achieve as a company. We'll create these OKRs as a team, as a company, and then we'll start to roll them out to the entire company where they will create the rest of their OKRs as well. Now, something that we've also done on the backside is we've created our OKR workbook for anybody who is looking to adopt OKRs, but they don't want to spend thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars on a software. Now, this is an Excel sheet, but the way that we've designed it and added formulas, we can see the OKR progress by departments. We can see the OKR status from the entire company. And then if we scroll down, we can actually see the individual departments here. And this is where the alignment and transparency and focus come into play as well. So we can see that on this one, this is the sales team. We can see that we have percentage of tasks complete, 64%, 50%. There's progressing, on track, so on and so forth. This is all available here on our dashboard. Now, where does this information come from? It comes from the inputs, really all the things that you have to do as a company and also as a department. So as a company, the leadership team, the OKR workshop will lead into this, or it will lead into whatever OKR software that you're leveraging. But you have a simple way to address your objectives, create your key results, and then track them from percentage of complete. And then also we do monthly scoring and end of the quarter scoring. So your teammates or your colleagues or your direct reports will go in here and they'll update what they have as far as an expectation of completing this goal for the quarter. Now, something that we haven't added here for this example is dates, but you can have your scheduled start date, your scheduled finish date, but then also you can track your actual start date and your actual finish date to define the variance of what you thought, and then you can see how many days it took to complete that. Now, the other key call out here is once you create your company OKRs, you want to have cascading OKRs. And what that means is you're going to take the company's key result, and you can see that these are formulated where if a key result is created, it will automatically go in here. So you don't have to do anything other than fill out what is here through a drop down or through personal creation. So this one we've chosen to, for the example, create a 4-week online OKR education course by the end of the quarter. That then becomes the objective for the director of sales, the VP of sales, the SVP of sales, whatever the case is. Then they will create their own key results, right? And just like the company has cascading OKRs, the team will have cascading OKRs. So if this is finish a hosting or find a hosting platform by end of quarter, then this is automatically going to go down here. And so for the example, what would happen is you would be able to either click and copy this, or you can just type it out on your own. But the objective would then become what your manager's key result is. And that's how the cascading methodology works. But also, if we go back to the dashboard after completing that, then we'll see that there's a create an online OKR course, but then there's also the updated version of the objective, find a hosting platform by the end of the quarter. And that just continues out throughout whichever departments you have. You can clearly change these or rename these, whatever you want to match your culture. And then the last piece, tying all the OKR program package together, is our OKR coaching playbook. So this is everything found in the OKR course, but it also breaks down and gives you a guide that you can leverage once we step away. You don't have to have us as a retainer. You can, that's perfectly fine. And we'll always be here to support you. But if you don't have the dollars for that, or if you feel like you have it under control, then you can leverage this playbook to make sure that you're following the steps provided in our OKR program package. So I hope that you found this interesting. I hope that you found this insightful. If any of these things stand out to you and you want to implement your OKR program, feel free to reach out to us today at info@imeoconsulting.com, or you can go to our website and leverage our schedule a discovery call link there. But as always, we hope to see you on the next video, and thank you so much for watching.